Could Arsenal make a move for Sporting Lisbon striker Viktor Gyokeres this transfer window as a new striker? Well, we're going to get all this news today, guys. Everything you need to know about Viktor Gyokeres' possible move to Arsenal. Let's go.
Welcome back, guys, to another Arsenal transfer news show.
Declan Rice has officially signed for Arsenal.
Players in before the start of the season, pretty. With this deal gets done before the start.
So, according to reports, Arsenal are very active in the pursuit of a 86 million transfer after deciding against the approach for Osimhen. So, Sporting Lisbon striker Viktor Gyokeres remains a very active target for Arsenal, according to Corriere dello Sport. Of course, the Italian publication originally published claims last week that a move for Victor Osimhen was on the cards. However, it's believed that the Gunners have called their interest in the Nigerian international now. Although Napoli are said to have lowered their demands to sell the forward, it seems like a deal is beyond the reach of Mikel Arteta's side. Osimhen was on the market for 130 million, which is the release clause in his contract, but it is thought that he could have signed on a loan as there's a mandatory clause to buy next summer. Arsenal clearly decided that they can't afford the player, leaving the likes of Chelsea and PSG to fight out for the striker. So what is the situation with Gyokeres? It was reported by the Portuguese press that the Gunners have sent scouts to watch the Swedish international in pre-season, which does indicate that they're still very keen on the player. There are question marks, though, over whether the club have the funds to meet Gyokeres' asking price. It's been suggested that Sporting may accept a fee around 60 million, which is considered lower than the 86 million buyout clause, sorry. But Arsenal have not formalised their interest in the striker so far. Signing midfield is currently Arsenal's top priority. Despite supporters believing that Arteta needs to add more firepower to this squad, the manager's main focus appears to be on reinforcing his midfield options. Sociedad's Mika Merino looks to be a primary target. The 28-year-old has less than a year left in his contract, and he could be available for around 26 million. Of course, we are very advanced in signing Mikel Merino, guys. That deal looks like it's going to be done as well. So that will be Arsenal's next sort of signing. So let's talk about Viktor Gyokeres and a possible move to Arsenal, because we know, that Arsenal, there's been links of strikers linked with Arsenal, of course, because as fans, I think we know we need one, in my opinion. I know there's a few fans who disagree with that now, but I also think we need a striker there for next season. And we're linked with the likes of Victor Osimhen, Gyokeres, Isak. But yeah, at the moment, there's no real concrete interest in Arsenal signing a striker. I think the main focus right now is a midfielder, but I think we'll learn more about if we will sign a striker when we sign the midfielder, if that makes sense. As soon as we get Mika Merino do over the line, then it's going to be who's next. Will it be the striker? And yeah, in terms of Viktor Gyokeres, as I said, the reports in Portuguese reports saying that Arsenal have sent their scouts out there to watch him play in pre-season. Right, he's a player that's been on Arsenal's radar for quite a while now. For many months. We've been looking at this guy. As I said, we're looking at Osimhen as well. We have been targeting a few strikers here and there, but Gyokeres seems to be the main one because ultimately his price has dropped. We could possibly get him for around 60 million. Which you think about it now, guys, right? If we sell, because we're selling players now, right? We've got money. We've just sold 35 million for Emil Smith-Rowe. Now we're also going to get 30 million for Eddie Nketiah, as he's going to go to Marseille. And just like that, selling two players, we have the funds now to go and buy Viktor Gyokeres for 60 million. So it is affordable for me. I think the fee is affordable. 60 million is a lot for a player like him, in my opinion, though. And as the player himself, listen, I'm going off the basis of what I've seen in terms of the numbers. Yeah, the numbers don't lie. The guy was a goal machine last season. It is the Portuguese league. Nobody watches it. I'm sorry, unless you're Portuguese. Unless you support Sporting, Porto, Benfica, right? I don't know anyone who watches the Portuguese league. I don't myself as well. But listen, anyone in the chat who watches the Portuguese league, then let me know. Fair enough and fair play to you. But I'm just going on what I've seen, and I can't judge a player off of watching. I like to use that whole eye test thing instead of, stats is there as well. And I'm looking at the stats as well. I'm saying, look, the guy scored how many goals. It was just incredible. Like his numbers last season was incredible, right? Goals and assists was incredible in all competitions. Were fantastic, right? He's a goal machine, and the stats show obviously showing that. And the little glimpses I've seen of this guy, he looks a quite powerful striker. Looks a quite physical striker. He looks a very a striker who, you know, gives you that something sort of different, which I think we've been lacking at Arsenal. I have liked the look of Gyokeres, and we obviously seen the guy play in England before. He's been in the Premier League, didn't really have a breakout season with Brighton, but went to Coventry, and you saw happening at Coventry in the Championship. He looked fantastic again, scored many goals for Coventry in the Championship, right? And then he got his move to Sporting. Has been brilliant for Sporting. He's definitely on the uprise, this player, Viktor Gyokeres, right? And as I said, I think we're seeing players before in the Championship come to the Premier League and do well. You know, Ivan Toney, Ollie Watkins, both came from Brentford from the Championship. There's probably a few more names I'm missing as well. I can't think off the top of my head, but we've seen players come from the Championship and thrive in the Premier League. And this guy's done bits in Championship. That can he make that adaptation to the Premier League? And I think, as I said, with the players that we have in our team right now, we're just lacking, for me, that sort of clinical goal scorer up front. Because he'll get chances. I think any striker who comes into Arsenal, they'll get the service. Because we have some great players there with Saka, with Martinelli on the wings, or Trossard, Odegaard, you know, the new number 8, whether that be Rice playing there, whether that be Merino, who is going to be there? You know, we're going to have options there. We're going to have lots of service there. So whatever striker, if we do sign a striker, we'll get. They need to be clinical, and I think this guy's shown in the Portuguese league, in the Championship, that he can be the clinical striker that we're looking for. And I still think we do need a striker. I really do. In my opinion, I think there's games last season where Kai Havertz played well as a striker as centre forward last season. Yeah, but also there's times where he was inconsistent. There's games last season, you know, Liverpool in the FA Cup, Man City, Bayern Munich home and away, where, you know, Fulham, West Ham. I know we had Jesus there as well, but that's another problem. Jesus is injury prone. Jesus, for me, has only scored 15 goals in his career. That's the highest he's ever scored. I think we're going to see him more as a winner. Havertz played well in centre forward, but I still think we need something different there. I mean, Gyokeres is a very good option there for 60 million. You know, we seem to be eyeing this player a lot, and, you know, we'll see how this one develops. At the moment, guys, there's not any concrete reports. Only reports coming from, again, Corriere dello Sport over there in Italy, and also Portuguese reports. Sort of Portuguese newspapers are coming out and saying that Arsenal apparently sent their scouts to go and watch Viktor Gyokeres play in the pre-season. So we'll see how this one develops, guys. I think we will find out what happens with Gyokeres in terms of once we sign Merino, then it will be who's next. Because, of course, we do have around 9 days now until our first game of the season against Wolves. And I know we've got 3 weeks left until the window does officially end. But we'll see, of course. This signing, of course, will be most likely done if we were looking at this guy towards the end of the window. So thanks everyone who tuned in, guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Come on, you Gunners.